Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm Stan Riven. I'm chief buddy music. My whole life was filled with music from my youth on. We were 10 children. I was number 7, and I played for everybody music when they were washing dishes or we had parties. Later on, I came to Amsterdam, and I was one of the first DJs who played on all the student parties. I studied social science, but music was stronger, and I became a music journalist. So for over 40 years, I'm a music journalist. I'm an omnivore. I like music from all over the world, and that is because I think that Anglo-American music is over. It's repeating. The retro music is there for years. And for me, the future was in Latin America and Africa, in the past, but also in the present. So I traveled several times to Africa, made a lot of friends, and I've always been busy to promote these musics.
Okay, so during the time you started, who were some of the renowned musicians from across the world?
That was, sorry, what do you mean? From Africa or in general?
Okay,
I grew up with Harry Belafonte. I grew up with Bach, with the Beatles, with Big Bill Broomsey, the blues. An older brother my parents had classical music, a brother had flamenco music. I was more from the rock and pop in the beginning.
About how many years ago are we talking about?
That was in the mid-60s.
60s?
Last century, by the way. And it was in The Hague. And The Hague at that time was called the Liverpool of the Netherlands. There were hundreds of bands and hundreds of venues where there was music. And in that scene, I grew up, and also purchasing records.
Okay.
I have about 3,045s, and I started to buy them actually when I was 10. Wow. 1960, my grandparents gave me, let's say, 10,000 CDs, or 10 guilders, let's say £2, which was an awful lot. And I bought 2 records out of them, and I think that's where it began.
Okay, so how about Ghana music?
That was later on. Actually, all African music was hardly to get here. My first African album I bought in 73. That was Manu Dibango. It was on a small label, and there was Soul Makossa, but a lot of other songs. And in 78, I was running a dance school for half a year, and there was a teacher, and he played music. Said, "Wow, what is this? Oh, this is Fela Kuti." So I discovered Fela Kuti. And then in the early 80s, I started a magazine called Africa, and with a lot of friends, we collected these musics because you had Francophone and Anglophone Africa. So we went to London to purchase records, or to Paris to purchase records. And that's the way our collection grew. And then became a DJ for 4 years on a squat radio.
So what's
station.
your DJ name?
Today it's DJ Ritmundo.
DJ?
Ritmundo.
Okay, Ritmundo.
So I have a foundation called Ritmundo. I organized parties with music from all over the world. I mean, they play also soul and jazz, dance and things, but no electronic dance music.
Okay. So what's your impression about Ghana music?
It's very rich. It has a long history, and I think I even like it better than the Afrobeat where everybody is running around. Ebo Taylor, he's very old now. I mean, I'm crazy of him.
Ebo Taylor.
He played Netherlands 3 times. Pat Thomas, I mean, these old, and my most famous, and I play it on every party. You don't believe me, but it's really true.
So this is your music library?
This one.
Erika Jemai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nea Abe Beto, what does it mean?
Nea Abe Betobia.
Nea Abe Betobia. Oh.
I even wrote the sleeve notes on a live recording of his here in Amsterdam.
Wow. Erika Jemai.
But you asked what we are my favorites. You are from Latin America, a lot of Cuban music, cumbia music from Colombia, Argentine music, rural music with a mix and a twist. And then from North Africa, the reggae music I loved very much.
Okay, so what makes a good music to you?
There are several things. It's always the voice, or the real voice, and another voice, what's the message which comes across. Not in the sense it has to be political, but in the sense that they tell a story and they can touch me. So a lot you can't explain.
How about the instrumentation?
Depends. Guitars, kora, but there has to be kind of rhythm or kind of beat. So I have 2 pair of ears. One pair is as a DJ on the dance floor. So you have to be even a slow beat, but you have to feel it. So I'm always standing, sometimes like last Sunday, for 10 hours at a stretch because you have to feel the music.
Okay. So
and
which
as a radio DJ, I make more a story like a movie in sound, how you combine different types of music. So that can be Irish songs or an American song or everything.
which other Ghanaian musicians do you know?
Not that, Sloopy Mike Jumpy, of course, a Kumbisale band, Sankofa. Sankofa, by the way, that was a movie you was presented. And yeah, a lot of high life stars with the most famous.
So how were you able to get all these songs in your library?
Well, it started because by DJing you always had to know where you can find something. This is my huge memory stick in concrete. If you ask me a record, I can just touch it and know where it is. And if I see a sleeve, I hear the music. So there is a year, so let's just hear the Doors' first album came, this is a collection by the way, their first album came out in 1967, the second one the same year, etc. It's all part of my youth.
So now you tell me, what is your motivation?
The 3 C's, it's creativity, it's collaboration, bringing, connecting. So I like to do things which are connected to my soul and my body, but I also like to connect people. So but through a party, I always go there and I know how many people come, what are the age. Even at a wedding with 200 people, with children and elder people, I can all make them dance. So my only definition, they have all to dance. At least within 20 minutes, half an hour.
So with all these years of experience, if I ask you to advise the Ghanaian DJs to go for good music, quality music, what would you say to all Ghanaian DJs?
On radio or on parties?
On radio, parties, on the TV. I mean, today we have the VDJs and all.
But I think you need to, it's like if you're writing on, let's say, literature or movies. You can't start directly, oh, this is a nice movie or not. You have to know a background, so you have to know the history about movies. The same goes with music. Not only the history of high life or the history of jazz, but also what happened before and after and next to it. So the context is, and you have to be, the 3rd C, curious. Curious, I had nothing. I slept with 6 brothers in one room, but always what I got. The most precious thing of my parents was curiosity.
So what do you ever regret being a DJ? Do you have regrets?
No, not at all. It makes me happy. But one other advice, don't do it alone. But I mean, during my studies, I was for 2 years dependent on the parties I played. I mean, sometimes 3 in a weekend. But on Monday, I went to the record shop and get these 12-inch records, you know. So that was a little bit... too much. So, but now I'm writing, I'm presenting. I have another network which is for everybody in the so-called world music scene in the Netherlands.
So as a DJ who talks as you also double as a presenter. I want you to wrap up.
Okay. Well, tomorrow, but because I'm ill, I probably can't present it. We do here in Old Church. We bring music that is made in Holland and only made in Holland. Because of the combination of people. In the 17th century you have tens of thousands of migrants, we have them now again. If they get music together, it's new sounds. And we bring these new sounds, and we call them Dutch Delta sounds. Old roots on new roots with an O and EU.
Sign off already?
But something else?
Let you sign off.
Unless you want to add.
There's so much to add. Another advice for DJs, it's time investment. Every Saturday when I was free, I went purchasing records. If I was in a bar or in a party and I heard a song I didn't know, today you have Shazam, but at that time I asked the barman, which record is it? I wrote it down. I still have a whole list of records were precious. It took me years sometimes to purchase them. And in that combination...
You bought them with money, your own money? You bought all these with your own money?
Most of them. As a journalist, they sent you, but I never want to be dependent on the record industry, which means keep on buying your own records and go look over the edge over the hedge and listen to other people. You maybe hate not other people but the music, but try to understand, and that's the way you profile your taste. Okay.